This is Garis Masculist MGTOW flyers. That is 2-3 page essays on the themes of masculism and MGTOW. Written by and read aloud by Prof. Dr. Hugo de Garis. This is flyer number 700. Ta-da! Part 2. Carrying straight on. Masculists preach to young women that it is in these women's self-interest to vote with men for the men-fairing of the gender laws, since if the divorce courts are made men-friendly and all women are FIPs, then men will be a lot more willing to be fathers again, which is what millions of young women want. It's only a question of time before nearly all young men, in Western countries at least, become conscious of how toxic today's divorce courts are for men, that were taken over by the feminists in the 70s, who then made them so toxic for divorcing fathers that the younger generation of men have wiped their hands of marriage and paternity, since they absolutely refuse to face a 1 chance in 4 of being butchered in a fluffy feminist-dominated divorce court system. Even when nearly all men have been masculisted, that is still only a bit under half of the voting population. So fundamental reforms in the gender laws will not be assured until a substantial proportion of the female population votes with men for the men-fairing of these laws. So Masculists push biconscious women to vote with men, to men-fair the gender laws, so that millions of men can be liberated from gender laws that discriminate so badly against them. Masculists put powerful moral pressure on women to vote with men, claiming that women should do this simply out of a sense of fairness and for reasons of female self-interest. For example, that with men fair gender laws, women will benefit, since men will then be more willing to be fathers again. Masculists currently are having a hard time spreading masculist ideas due to the existence of the fem mafia, that is, the feminist media mafia. The majority of journalists in Western countries are now female, most of whom are monoconscious feminists who see masculist critique of women as just more misogyny and hence something to be resisted. So they do. They block publication of masculist ideas so that the cause of masculism spreads more slowly to the general public, the millions. To masculists, this is pure hypocrisy. For example, YouTube, under its former CEO, Susan Wojcicki, had a policy of promoting feminist channels and, in capital letters, deleting masculist channels. That woman was the most hated in the manosphere for her hypocritical bigotry. Personally, when I heard she had died, I did a little jig. With a much larger number of biconscious feminists voting with men for the men-fairing of the gender laws, these journalists will become biconscious and hence less likely to censor the publication of masculist ideas, which in turn will mean that the general public will become a lot more exposed to masculist ideas, so that the proportion of the population who become biconscious will increase significantly, which of course is what the masculists want. Since we need the female vote to force politicians to legislate for men-fair gender laws, especially for the para and the optab. When, say, a quarter of women vote with men for the men-fairing of the gender laws, then that would be roughly 60% of the total votes. So politicians, if they want to survive, will be forced to vote in men-fair legislation. At the moment, politicians are so afraid of the bloc female vote that they give women what they want and ignore the male vote. This is profoundly unjust for men, hence the pressure coming from the masculists to teach monoconscious feminists masculist ideas, so that these women start voting for the men-fairing of the gender laws and actually in their female self-interest if they want to have babies again and be dated again, instead of being left by young men to rot on the shelf, as is the case today. Cheers. Prof. Dr. Hugo de Garis. Email profhugodegaris@yahoo.com. Website profhugodegaris.wordpress.com. Brackets, click on the Masculist tab for 700 plus Masculist essays and their videos. Google the terms London Real and Hugo de Garis to see videos on Masculism at, quote, AI will kill 1 billion people, dash, do we create our exterminators, question mark? Professor Hugo de Garis, dash, London Real, brackets, see the last half hour of this 2-hour interview for the Masculist segment, as well as Countdown to Extinction, how AI will exterminate mankind, again for the last 40 minutes on Masculism. These flyers are available in text and video formats on Minds, BitChute, Odyssey, MGTOW.tv, X and YouTube, brackets, although well down in the search list since YouTube has shadow banned my Masculist videos. I have nearly 1,000 Masculist videos in 14 playlists on YouTube that can be accessed by searching for the channel name De Garis Masculist Videos. That's all one word. All 1,000 of my Masculist videos, in brackets, in one long list in most recent first time order, can also be found on X by searching the channel name De Garis Masculist Videos. That's 4 words. Ciao.